Hey, hi, how you doing, Exiles? Welcome to the channel. I'm Omega, and the patch notes have been dropped. Now, these patch notes are a hefty read. So what I've done is I've gone through them this morning, and I've picked out bits that I think are more interesting to know rather than go through the whole thing. I mean, obviously, if you want to go through the patch notes, please feel free to. There is a lot there. There may be things in there that, you know, might pop out more to you, depending on what build you are. Whereas I've only done a monk, an Ice Strike monk, and a Sorcerer Stormweaver Ascendancy. So there may be things in that patch notes that pop out more to you, that, you know. But we're going to go through what I've taken out, and we're going to learn things together. Okay, so obviously these are things that we already know about from the dev interviews that have already taken place, and the interviews after. So obviously we're starting with the new economy. That's if you want to. You can still play in the standard league, but obviously I think everybody pretty much wants a fresh economy at this point, as things have just got mental in the trade market. I keep knocking my microphone. So yeah, obviously it's the standard, the hardcore, and the solo self-found league variants are available from the start. And as I say, all the existing mechanics, all the new mechanics are going over to the existing league anyway. But yeah, okay, so obviously the new playable character is the Huntress. We all know that, with the two ascendancies, which is the Amazon and the Ritualist. For the warrior, we've got the Smith of Katava Ascendancy class, and then for the Merc, we've got the Tactician Ascendancy. And then one that I am looking forward to, once I've completed got the Huntress through to the end game, I'm definitely going back and redoing the Witch class, and I will be taking the new Lich Ascendancy. It looks like some good fun. As previously mentioned in all the other videos from the devs that have been interviewed over the last couple of days, there's going to be 25 new skills. They are primarily going to be spear skills, obviously. They've added 100 new supports, 2 new item classes, spears and bucklers. The bucklers, it'll be interesting to see how that works and whether that's a mechanic that people actually use. They've added 100 new unique items, along with 8 new endgame maps, each with obviously new encounters and new rewards. They've introduced 4 new unique strongboxes. Something that I'm super excited for is the 12 rogue exiles. So at any point, these can appear from cruel mode all the way into end game. One of these 12 rogues will pop up. You will fight them. If you win, you get all their gear. If not, they're going to portal and bounce, and you will lose everything. Well, not everything, but you'll lose what they potentially would have had. And then the Asmerian Wisps. So this is a new mechanic. It's not a new mechanic. So this mechanic, it will be a spirit. It will come up. It will have a path, a flight path, and then every monster that it then comes into contact with will be infused by that spirit, by the wisp, making it more powerful. But the more powerful and the more monsters it hits, the more rewards you are going to get. So into the end game changes. Let me just take this down a bit. So areas of corruption on the Atlas now have a central corruption nexus that is a source of the affliction on the map. In the areas leading to the nexus, corruption will spill out from slain enemies and amalgamate into a powerful monster. Into powerful monsters, sorry. Upon reaching the nexus, you'll begin a task of cleansing the source of corruption. Completing this task and receive crystalline shards that you can then use to obtain Atlas passive trees. So cleansing these nexuses, the corrupted nexuses, will this is what will provide you your Atlas skill points. Additional corruption monster factions have also been introduced, and each one of them factions will have their own boss, basically. So yeah, as I say, cleansing the nexus will cause the surrounding maps to become cleansed, which then will have their own set of monsters. So you can basically double dip on each map. You'll do the corrupted. You'll do the corrupted. Sorry, excuse me. You'll do the corrupted one. You'll cleanse the area, and then you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to get a new set of monsters and a new set of rewards. Basically, double dipping said maps. You can now respawn to a map if you die. You get up to 6 total attempts per map. But obviously, as it says, the more modifiers you have to a waystone, the number of respawns do go down. Okay, so we've got Atlas passive tree changes. Again, I've not got... There's a hell of a lot on the Atlas passive tree changes. There wasn't that much, actually, to be fair. I am just going to leave this on the monster change because that's something I want to go to later. So yeah, where are we? The added support for the Asmerian spirits and the rogue exiles, they're going to get their own Atlas passive tree nodes. They're going to add more notable passives and rework some of the existing ones to make the available choices a bit more interesting and fun. Now you can now obtain 40. I don't know why I'm holding up 2 fingers. 40 can't count. You can now obtain up to 40 passive skill points rather than the previous 30. Grasping Hands Atlas notable passive now has 30% more classed hands. Has 30% classed hands. Previously it was 50, so that's been nerfed. The class hands in your map have a 20% chance to be guaranteed by to be guarded by a pack of magic monsters. Previously 25, so that's a little bit lower. The interdimensional assault Atlas notable now has breaches in your maps at 10% increased monster density. The ominous portent Atlas now causes ritual favor in your maps to have 100% increased chance to be omen. So you are going to get an omen pretty much every single ritual that you do. The Rising Prayer Atlas notable passive now has breaches in your maps have 25% increased monster density, previously 40. It's a bit of a nerf there. Depending which way you look at it, I suppose. But as we get into it, we'll probably see why they've lowered it. Okay, so player changes, just a couple of bits to go over here. The characters are now required to be at level 25 to enter cruel difficulty, and level 50 to enter endgame areas. So they're looking to slow down the progress a little bit, I suppose. This one hurts. This one does hurt. Freeze now builds up roughly 48% slower on enemies. As I will get into that a little bit later. This one I like. The Worn Sandals Trial of Secamus Affliction grants 30% less movement speed if you've been hit by an enemy now, rather than it just being a flat 25% movement speed affliction. I think that's great, providing you don't get hit. Blocking a hit by raising your shield or parrying now gives you a chance to avoid accumulating heavy stun build-up equal to the chance you would otherwise have had to evade the hit. Now we're going to get into the heavy stun mechanic a bit here. Your heavy stun bar now doesn't start emptying until the heavy stun animation has finished, instead of when the heavy stun animation starts. Heavy stun duration on players is now 3 seconds rather than the before 1 second. Players cannot block or evade hits whilst they are heavy stunned. If you get heavy stunned, you're cooked. You are done. And you're coming back in through one of your after you've died. You're coming back in through another portal. Right, so skill changes. There's quite a bit to go through here. This is one of the biggest, and a lot of the more interesting stuff came from this. So it says many skills have had their base damage or damage growth per level rebalanced. Most of the changes that they couldn't put in the patch notes because the changes are just so widespread. So the mana cost for all attacks, marks, and war cries has been reduced, most notably on the higher gem levels. So leveling maybe isn't going to feel too bad, but once you hit end game, you're probably going to feel that reduced mana cost. Adjusted minion damage and life scaling. General damage and life is the same early game, but lower than before at higher levels, especially past gem level 20 plus. Arc no longer deals more damage for each remaining chain, and changed 6 to 8 times at gem levels 5 to 20, previously 2 to 5. Quality provides a 0 to 2% more damage for each remaining, rather than the 0 to 5% what it was. Now this is where we're going to start getting into some of the skills that have been absolutely nuked. So Stormweavers, you ain't playing Stormweavers anymore. To be fair, we can't really say that until we've actually got in there and had a look at it. Because obviously with all these new skill gems, there might be things that we can put in place, and I'm sure people will come up with more broken builds that you can shake a stick at. So Archmage now causes non-channeling spells to gain 3% of damage as extra lightning damage for each 100 maximum mana you have at all gem levels. This was previously 5 to 6 at gem levels, 5 to 6% at gem levels 14 to 20. Non-channeling spells now cost an additional 6.7 to 6.1% of your maximum mana at gem levels 14 to 20. That's pretty big increase from the previous 5.35 to 5.5%. The quality now provides 0 to 10% reduced reservation instead of granting it non-channeling skills. Channeling spell gain 0 to 2% of damages as extra lightning damage for each 100% maximum mana you have. Blink is now a travel skill. If you have multiple travel skills with cooldowns, their cooldowns are now shared. So that is it's slowing you down. Flame Wall again now causes projectiles which pass through the wall to deal 33 to 48 added fire damage at gem level 20. Previously, it was 64 to 91. That is huge. While the gem level Gem level 1 values are unchanged. More significant reductions have been made past gem level 20. Again, leveling through the campaign is going to be okay. End game is where you're going to get it. You're going to have to get a little bit more spicy and find out these broken mechanics. If that's something, you know, if it's something that you like to do in creating builds that one shot bosses. Personally, I'm not that. I prefer the I prefer to have a fight with a boss rather than just one kill. Although I wouldn't mind a build that just, you know, I wouldn't mind to have a build that could do that, if you know what I mean. Now, this is huge. Grim Feast can no longer be engraved. Existing Grim Feast gems have been disabled. They aim to rework this in the coming future. Grim Feast basically gave you double energy shield. An energy shield was broken at best already, and then you throw Grim Feast into the mix. You know, if you could get yourself up to 4,000 ES, you could quite quickly have 8,000 ES. Dog's sneezing. So yeah, pretty gutted about that one, because on my Spark I did use Energy Shield, and as we'll see later on as well, I went Chaos Inoculation with my Monk with the Everlasting Gaze, which gave me a bit of Energy Shield, but obviously, as we'll see later on, the Everlasting Gaze has been nerfed as well. Hammer of the Gods no longer has a cooldown, but now requires 20 glory to use. Glory is a resource that gets built up by heavy stunning enemies. The amount of glory gained is based on stun monsters' power. Quality is now +0 to +0.4 to impact radius. Previously 1% increased cooldown recovery. Wait, I have no idea what that's just said. I'm not going to lie. The on-kill effect of Herald skills can no longer trigger from kills caused by Herald skills. So, swapping your putting your lightning infusion and your cold infusion into the opposite heralds so they trigger off each other ain't happening anymore. It's gone. So then mad clears. I exploited this with my Monk to clear screens. It was great fun, but it's gone. It has gone. Herald skills with attack hits now properly state that hits cannot be evaded. This is not a functional change, just a descriptive one. Herald of Ash explosion radius is now 1.2 meters, previously 1. That might be something that people are going to start looking at. I've not seen a great deal of Herald of Ash sort of stuff. The Herald of Ash quality now provides an additional +0 to 5% of overkill damage contributing to the base ignite damage instead of the previous ignite surrounding enemies. If overkill damage is at least 0 to 2% of enemies' maximum life, benefit that was actively detrimental. Herald of Ice explosions radius is now 1.6 meters instead of the 1.8. Herald of Plague now requires a martial weapon, making it consistent with the weapon restrictions of the other Herald skills. Let me bring this up. The Herald of Thunder's Bolt impact radius is now 1.4 instead of 1.6, so they're bringing the radius in. Lightning Rod Arrow now disappears after being chained to 6 times at the gem levels, previously 8 to 14 times at gem levels 1 to 20. Arrows now take 1 second to charge up before releasing a lightning burst. When chained to lightning arrows, that chain to lightning rod arrows cause the pulse to happen instantly instead of needing to charge up. Lightning Warp no longer creates any shot ground behind it if targeted by a ball lightning projectile. Sorry. Mana Tempest's quality now grants an additional damage gained as lightning instead of causing its effect to linger after the after you exit the Tempest Spark. Woo-hoo. Again, another they've absolutely nuked the Stormweaver Ascendancy. Just nuked it. Spark now fires 4 to 9 projectiles at gem levels 1 to 20, previously 6 to 14, and no longer has a 0 to 19% increased projectile speed. Quality now provides 0 to 30 increased projectile speed, previously fires at 0 to 4 projectiles. Shock Siphon can no longer be engraved in the gem cutting menu. Existing copies of this bot will still be functional. So if you've got it in one of your builds, you're okay for now. Spiral Volley now fires directly forward with the first arrow instead of the final arrow. If you're Deadeye, you know. Strip Away now causes exposure applied by supported skills to have 20% increased effect, previously at 30. Right, we are now we are now at the I don't know why I didn't put that in. That's my neighbours making a racket. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't put that in. So okay, let's just put that right. Okay, so changes to the unique items. Against Darkness unique jewel now has a medium radius instead of a large. This change does not affect existing items, so standard league, you're absolutely fine. If you choose to go forward with a new league, this is what you'll be dealing with. So the modifiers, of course, notable passive skills and the radius. It also grants 2 to 4% increase. Specific attributes now have values of 2 to 3%. Not huge, but existing items can be made worse with Divine Orbs. The Against Darkness unique jewel no longer causes small passive skills in the radius to also grant 1% increased maximum life or mana. Instead, they now cause small passives in radius to grant +8 or 2 life or mana instead of the percentage you get in the flat numbers. Existing versions of this item are unaffected, obviously, again, the same as there. The Astramentus, this is going to upset a lot of people. The Astramentus now has +50 to 100 to all attributes, previously +80. That's a big drop. Existing versions of this unique can be made worse by the Divine Orbs. Why would you? It's Zari's Disdain helmet now has 10% damage taken by past energy shield, previously at 20 to 25, so that's a big drop. And +60 to 100 on maximum mana, previously +40 to 60. It also now has gain 10 to 15% of maximum life as extra man. Let's rewind. Maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. Previously 25 to 30%. Existing versions of this item could be updated. Values with a Divine Orb. Choir of the Storms amulet once again triggers lightning bolt instead of the greater lightning bolt. The Crown of Victor unique helmet is now 10 to 15% rarity of items found instead of the 10 to 20. Dream Fragments ring now provides 10% increased maximum mana rather than the 20%. Again, Divine Orbs can be used to on the existing versions to obtain the new value. Why would you? I mean, if you've got it, you just wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't. Now, something that I use for all of my builds, the Everlasting Gaze, now causes you to gain 4 to 6% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield, previously 20 to 30. No, let me read that again. Unique amulet now causes you to gain 4 to 6% of maximum mana as max shield, previously. Wow, that has been nuked. Provides 40 to 6% increased maximum regen rate, previously at 50, and 40 to 60 of maximum mana, previously at 50. So yeah, but that maximum manager as extra maximum energy shield is a big drop. Wow. The Hour Gloves now adds 1 to 10 lightning damage to attacks per 20 intelligence rather than the previous 10, and now provides 1% increased attack speed per 20 dex than the previous 3, so that's a pretty big drop. The changes will affect... It will affect existing items while Divine Orb can be used to obtain the remaining value changes. The unique is also now found as the Spiral Wraps base type. So Hour, bye-bye. Ingenuity Belt. People are going to be pissed off about this. So the Ingenuity Belt no longer has 40 to 80% increased bonuses gained from equipped rings. It now has 20 to 30% increased bonuses from equipped rings. Oh, hang on. 20 to 30 for the left ring and 20 to 30 bonus gained equipped from the right wing. So you're going to have no more than 60%. With 2D. Yeah, okay. Depending on what rolls you've got on your ring, it's still cooked and it's nerfed. Also now has 1+1 to 2 charm slots. Oh, okay, so you can get a double charm slot. 20 to 20% increased charm charges gained and 10 to 10, so 10 flat reduced charm charges used. These belts in the standard league are going for ridiculous amounts of mirrors at the moment, I think. I've never had one. I bought one. The rolls were too low. It made my build worse. I got rid of it. The Melting Maelstrom flask, the mana flask, no longer has the property to recover all mana when used. Obviously, so it'd be interesting to see what it does recover. Whether they'll have specific rolls on, I don't know. And now the Temporalis unique now causes skills to have -2 to -1 second of cooldown, previously -4 to -2. Existing version of this item can be updated to the new values. I don't know why you can't. Oh. There we go. Yeah, updated to the new values, but with a divine. But why would you? Why the hell would you? So I did want to also just go over some of the monster changes that I found interesting. 1 second, let me just make this bigger. It's not working, is it? So some of the monster change, let's see, item changes, monster changes. Okay, so pinnacle bosses have had their health halved, making it easier to attempt and successfully attempt a pinnacle boss fight. We'll just go through these first few here. So bosses that need to perform certain actions to progress their fight will now become immune to damage if their life is brought significantly past the point at which that action should be used. This should have no noticeable effect to players, but will prevent cases where bosses could get semi-permanently crowd controlled and prevent the fight from progressing. Armor on all monsters have been reduced by 30%. Soul eating on monsters now grants 1% skill speed and 1% less damage taken per stack, previously at 5% and 2%. Now stacks to a maximum of 50, previously 45. So the life of this is where I was going for. So the life of the following pinnacle bosses have been adjusted: Olroth, the Origin of the Fall, Zest, We Are the One, the King in the Mists, and the Arbiter of Ash. At difficulty 0, they will have roughly half the maximum life as before, scaling back up to the unchanged, or to be unchanged by difficulty 4. So you will be able to probably beat at least one pinnacle boss, because I know a lot of people just didn't get to do it because the pinnacle bosses were just tough as nails if you didn't have one of these broken builds. Yeah, so if you didn't have a broken build, and this is why things have been nerfed, because if you didn't have one of them builds, you wasn't successfully doing tier 1 to 4 of the pinnacles. So that's about it, really. Couple of quest changes, which nothing. It's just the Halani gates before the trial of Secamus, and now that it just ends, so you don't have to go to the Adura Caravan in Act 2 and speak to Zaka. User interface changes. The ability to spectate members if you die in combat has been added. Ritual rewards, man. Oh, the ritual rewards now pause the game. HUD icon now displays if you're using controller, and have turned off item labels. And obviously a lot of the microtransaction stuff, and then there's a hell of a lot of bug fixes, but I'm not going to go through the bug fixes. If that's something that you are interested in going through and reading, go to the Path of Exile site. I feel what we've just gone through probably hits the nail on the head for most. As I say, this is at the beginning. I did say that this is my first Path of Exile YouTube video, and my mission is to sort of provide players with maybe not as much time as most to grind. I want to provide those people with builds that is perhaps going to get them past at least one pinnacle boss fight. And that's sort of my mission. I am going to do weekly updates on every build that I do. Yeah, I was a bit nervous doing this, but I thought I want to try it. I want to give it a good go, and hopefully the information that I have provided today helps. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.